So, welcome to Podcast First Play, episode 265. I'm one of your hosts, Carl, and as always, I'm joined by a man who thought opening a door for a lady was good manners, but she just screamed and fell out the plane. It's only bloody Dan.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm very good.
That's it. So, join us next time for 266. No.
266.
Dan's a bit tired today. He's had a busy old day at work, so
Yeah,
we're gonna
busy day, mate.
We're gonna ramp through.
Handing the reins over to you, so to speak.
Thanks.
And you can charge this sleigh in whatever direction you feel is best, and I'll just sit here and agree with you.
Dart like really hard into the ground, probably.
Yeah, nosedive it.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I'm gonna kick it off with some big, fat, delicious, juicy news.
Oh, God.
I hope you've brought your appetite, Dan.
Well, I haven't eaten anything since lunchtime, mate, so no. I'm hungry.
Well.
I'm hungry for content as well as sandwiches or a burrito or something.
Well, let's see how you feel about this, Dan. Microsoft, Xbox, potentially.
Yes, I'm aware.
They potentially.
Oh, I know what this is. I saw this, whether I liked it or not, quite frankly. It just seemed to be everywhere for like 3 hours, and then I never heard from it again. But this is that they are potentially considering releasing Starfield and Indiana Jones, the new Circle of Greatness, or whatever it is, the Great Circle. The Circle of Destiny.
No, just the Great Circle.
That's it. They are potentially going to be releasing them on PlayStation 5.
Well, Dan, that's only some of it.
Oh, well, that's as far... again, that's more of a passing headline, and I was like, oh, okay. But if this is we've talked about this before, you know, if there's some kind of reciprocal relationship that they make, it would be something with the Bethesda properties. Because it's like, that's not really... It's not like a Microsoft Studios thing, where they're just like, well, no, this is our game, and we can do what we want with it. It's just sort of like, it would be a bit shitty to gamers if we just said, no, it's only on Xbox. Even though Bethesda made it and we own them,
yeah, but
it's only on them.
They had already previously said, like, either before the acquisition went through or after, they'd review titles by a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
So that's nothing new. But Hi-Fi Rush, which is Xbox exclusive, Microsoft exclusive, that is coming to Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. However... that was then followed up with Starfield, which, prior to the acquisition, was going to be on PlayStation 5 anyway, they'd already have a working build and everything else.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that it is. I mean, it's a bit late after the fact. You know, you think that it had been turned around a little bit quicker.
Timed exclusivity, isn't it?
Maybe, but it was never advertised as such. You know, I imagine it's just sort of... But we'll see how people respond to it, and if they absolutely go bananas for it, then that's a good keep. Where if it's, you know, it's a bit mixed or people don't like it, then we need to try and get our money back. So we'll release it on PlayStation now. Everyone can go and buy it for PlayStation.
Well, that, and then obviously Indiana Jones has been mentioned as coming over to PlayStation 5. Unlikely to be Switch as well, but you never know. Very, very unlikely. But this is also followed up with Gears of War and Halo.
Oh!
So... Before we delve in, Dan, I've got some theories as to what I think might happen. I'm going to read you a quote from Phil Spencer that he tweeted out.
Old Phil.
What do we say now? It's X, because it can't be tweeted, can it?
It's
X'd. So Phil Spencer had X'd over on X, formerly Twitter. We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week. We're looking forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned. Cast your mind back, Dan, to a handful of episodes ago where we had the old leaks, the Microsoft email leak scandal. Within that, obviously Phil Spencer and other heads of Xbox and Microsoft had acknowledged that PlayStation 5s are outselling Xbox Series consoles by something like 5-1 or something like that. Like a lot.
I presume that the majority of that is the Japanese Asian market as well.
Fundamentally, in terms of...
I don't it seems to be America They're obviously the very key, or the North America, the West, shall we just say. It's kind of split down the middle. There is the console wars, whatever. That doesn't really seem to be a thing in Asia. It's just sort of like, it's Sony, it's ours. We just want a PlayStation.
Yeah, it's an American. Microsoft's an American company. They'll never crack the Asian market.
Not in the same way. No.
I think even like PCs, they'll probably just go, no, we're going to use Linux.
On principle, absolutely not.
But I think, Dan, we're going to get Game Pass on everything. And I think we might get one more Xbox console. Like a fully fledged console.
I think there's still something to be said for hardware. I would be fully in support of that they just turn Xbox into an almost completely digital platform, and it is the Netflix of gaming in that sense. You don't need to buy a Netflix box to watch Netflix. You can just watch it on your phone or your watch or your whatever. So if they just said, do you know what, we can't really recover anything on the hardware, so all of the money in R&D and marketing and development and shipping and whatever, all of that will go into new acquisitions, new development. Again, you're entering kind of the monopoly side of things, but in the sense that Netflix doesn't own a monopoly on streaming. They are the main streamer.
They just buy the licenses.
Streaming network. Yeah. But, they make their own things. But, there's still plenty of competition out there. Some people just don't like it. They don't think there's enough on there that interests them, so they don't get it. Whatever. So if they were to say, if we were to get rid of all the hardware, give up on it, we'll just develop controllers because PCs, they still want decent controllers, and we just put all of that time and energy into just games, and we just make games, and we just release games, and we sell games, and that's what we do. That's what we do now. Remember that Xbox One? It's an all platform for all your sport, and now they're just sort of like, nah, fuck it all. We just want to do games.
Yeah, which is what they should have been doing.
If they did that, I think that would probably be the best move for them to actually make insane amounts of profit.
Well, the thing is, with the PlayStation and the Switch as well, and there'll be a new Switch soon, a successor to the Switch. That's going to outsell everything anyway.
Yeah.
But Microsoft has spent billions of dollars buying up studios left, right, and center, but they're equally losing billions of dollars on hardware. And fundamentally, especially if all this comes through, you've got a PlayStation or you don't have either. If you can get Halo and Gears and Game Pass on a PlayStation, why the fuck would you buy an Xbox?
So, if that's the case, so think of it like this then. So if they go, this is all hypothetical at this point, obviously, but let's just say that they say we're going to move away from the hardware. So Sony, sure, you want to have a reductive view on it. You won the console wars, but you know that we've got a great thing going on here. And we've been buying up some really big studios, and we all of this stuff is available for a really reasonable price. People don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds or dollars or whatever to buy the new thing in order to do this. They can just do it on their fucking phone if they want to. Yeah. That's got to be a worrying step to take.
Yeah.
So if they were to say, we will step out of the hardware market again, apart from peripherals and accessories, maybe. And we'll, you can have, there's some sort of link or port or whatever it is to Game Pass. It will be limited. Obviously, we still want people to have some Xbox users. They still have more games than the PC users, and more old Xbox games, which I'm still kind of furious about. But again, I get it in the sense of, well, that's a reason to get the physical console because there's a few extra bits in there. So, you wouldn't have everything. Maybe there would be a bit of an exclusivity kind of thing on certain titles. But yeah, sure, you can get the Master Chief Collection. Yeah, sure, you can have the Gears Collection. But
you don't get your day one titles.
You don't get your day ones, but we expect some things in return. So, your Nathan Drake Collection, we want that on there.
I don't
Last
think
of
we'll
Us
ever get them. I
don't
think it's going to go the other way. Mainly because PlayStation don't need it.
No, they don't need it. But if they are again sort of, you can't have someone who could approach you with an olive branch and say, "Hey, we're making what we believe to be the right move for the customers, for the gamers out there. We want to make sure that they have access to as much as they can, and we know that they're gutted that they can't play our games because they got to, they had to choose and they went with your console. But if then they release the Gears collection and whatever, and Halo and all that sort of stuff, they'd have to still then spend $40, $50 a pop just to get those collections to now play them on PlayStation. But if we give you the Game Pass thing, it's one subscription charge and they get all of them immediately.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just give you all of that.
Well, that's the thing. But Sony wouldn't get any of that money. So from the game sales, Sony would get a percentage of that because it's on the PlayStation platform. But if it was a Game Pass subscription, that would all go to Microsoft.
It would, but again, that would have to be a licensing deal. So they say we pay you X amount to use all of the Horizon things. So like, take them off Steam or whatever. We get exclusivity on PC and on Xbox. Maybe not even Xbox, but just on PC for some of them. Because your Ratchet and Clanks and all that kind of stuff, they're not going to touch an Xbox, but they're all on PC.
Yeah.
So if we could get the Game Pass rights to those, and have like a one-stop shop for an entire catalogue of our best and your best and all together, we bump up that subscription to 15 quid each.
Fuck off.
Like 15 quid. But then you get your PlayStation games and your Xbox games on one thing that they own. They go, you never need to advertise your console again, because it's that or a Switch. That's all you get.
Yeah.
I think that would be a reasonable deal, and it's one that I would be excited about. If there was some benefit to both parties, so like PC users or Steam or whoever it is, that they could sell their games and they would be able to inject new life into an old game that they're potentially not making any money off anymore, then that makes way more sense. But I don't know. I just don't think that they'd stop making, like, after they've, made so many versions of like the Xbox and things like that. I just don't think that they'd just knock it on the head.
Not completely, but there's going to be there's going to be a point where I don't want it to happen, because at the minute, like a PS5 game's like 70 to 80
which
English
is
pounds.
Fucking outrageous.
You take Xbox out, then prices are only going to go up. Like, they've got direct competition at the moment, and they're still stupid expensive. But if you take that out, they can price it as high as they want, because you won't have a choice.
There's still trading standards, regulations, and things like that. You can't outprice. Like, you're not bound to the market by your competitors.
No.
Sort of like regulations on. No, that's beyond the realms of unaffordability.
But the recommended retail price will go up. That's all that'll happen. Same as everything else.
So. Like, there's still standards that have to apply, because if it's 200 quid for a game,
no, it's not going to be that
much. But they'd say that's unaffordable and it's unrealistic, and you can't ask people to pay that. So no, you cannot sell that game for that price in that country.
I mean, I don't know, because in Australia it's like $90 or something like that.
I think that's just because they're broken economy at the moment. It's like the exchange rate. I think it's like the exchange rate is all kind of based around like the American or the Japan, like whichever company it is. It's like it's around whatever their reasonable prices are. Because is why, like, it's like, was it the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox X when it came out, and it was like 6 times the price in Brazil or something like that, because they just went,
possibly.
It's $699 and it's £699, and it's just like, okay, well, one person's getting a raw deal here, because you could import it from America and potentially save money on it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why they brought in like the PAL and NTSC and everything else.
Exactly, because they're smart and they know that they can fuck everyone over by doing that. Yeah.
But with like, what I was going to say something to do with pricing that I've gone completely out of my head. But at the moment, there's no. I'd still say there's direct competition between Microsoft and PlayStation, but competition's good, and
that I will wholeheartedly stand by you with.
Yeah,
it as soon as anyone has a monopoly, which is, again, it's as Game Pass users ourselves, when there's this Activision buyout, I think that I would be able to get access to games that I haven't bought and haven't played for a while, and I would like to be able to get into that catalogue and kind of work my way through it, but I refuse to spend 40 quid a go on a game that's basically just a multiplayer thing. And to get access to that for nothing, in essence, it's the same subscription I'm already paying. I would like that because, sure, that's a real benefit for me.
Yeah.
But I would be very concerned of just like, are you just eating up as much of the market as you can? Because then again, you're trying to monopolize your side of things, which is we've got the money to buy as many studios as we can, as many properties as we can. And we can arrange all kinds of exclusivity deals and all that kind of stuff to try and compete because we can't match the hardware sales.
Yeah.
That, I feel, is a dangerous ground, because then again, you set the precedent for, this is our property now, we don't have to give you shit. Yeah. So, there's a new Elder Scrolls, tough. Well, you can't play it.
One game I forgot to mention as well, Sea of Thieves. That's coming to PlayStation and Switch.
If that's a... Switch would be a fucking nightmare trying to play that on a Switch. Jesus Christ. But if that's crossplay, and it's sort of like trying to, keep everyone in the mix and just say, it's not this game is made by these people, but you can only play with your people. It's like, no, let's all get together, let's all get out on the high seas and all, Rocket League it, and just have everyone just sort of playing together if they can. Surely that's only going to add the longevity to these kinds of games.
It will, but once if it does happen and they stop making consoles and they just focus on making they basically do a SEGA, become a third party software developer, then it puts PlayStation in a position where we'd just re-release something else. We don't need to focus on making good games because we don't need to. And that's somewhere where Nintendo found themselves in for quite a long time. And like the Nintendo install base is probably bigger than both PlayStation and Xbox, possibly even put together. But
I mean, there'd be multiple families who have got multiple Switches.
Yeah.
Like you get one for each kid or whatever, because they can all do different things with it.
Yeah.
But it's very unlikely that people are buying multiple PlayStations.
Unless you're in a very lucrative household where you can afford to go.
True, but that's a very small percentage.
Yeah, not like Logan wanted one. Logan wanted a PS5 for Christmas, not like the year just gone, the year before. And I was like, why? We've got one. I'm not buying another one.
But that's my point. Yeah, like you just go, no, that's like 600 quid or whatever it is a go. A Switch is far more reasonable. In terms of, but they still rinse you on the game prices, but it's that initial purchase is like, okay, well you can, we'll get one for Billy, we'll get one for Lucy, we'll get one for Jimmy, and but then they only get one game each, so that's 3 games that they've got to buy rather than 3 each, and then they can swap between them and they can do whatever. But you wouldn't go, we'll get them a PlayStation 5 each, because you're like, okay, well that's with a couple of games in there as well, we're pushing like 1,500 quid, $2,000, and it's absolutely not.
No, it's just stupid. And again, there will be families that have got the disposable
income. And if they do, more
that.
Power to them. Like, and if that's
saves arguments,
keep your kids separated out into different rooms, all doing their own thing, then why not?
Because we made that mistake. Because Logan's got his own Switch, and it was just like, we can play Mario Kart together now. No, we can't because we've only got one. We've only got one game.
Yeah, that's not how it works, mate.
I'm not spending another 50 quid on Mario Kart when I bought the same game on Wii U twice. And then
that's
again
the
on
Nintendo
here.
method, though, isn't it?
But that's what I mean.
Good idea. We'll milk it for 50 years.
And if you take Xbox out of the game, unless Apple or somebody else comes swinging in with a console or whatever, but if you take Xbox out,
you can absolutely guarantee that this potential culture of everyone kind of getting involved and everyone being able to play everyone else's games, like, oh my god, we can play Spider-Man for the first time on PC. That's so cool. And then you're going to get Apple come along and go, absolutely not. We'll make our own games. No one else can touch them. No controllers will ever work on an Apple station or whatever you want to call it. Like, they would be the most isolated, but they would probably be incredibly successful because people are very brand loyal to them, and they'd make an absolute fortune off a probably not great console.
Well, the Apple Vision headset's out now, and
I've seen people not
fucking mental.
Not in real life,
on
but I've seen
social media and stuff.
It's just people. I mean, it is kind of the future where they're just sort of sat on a bus just doing this, And it's just like, that's great until someone slaps you in the face and nicks it.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck would you go out in public with that? People know exactly what it is because there's no one else that would do that.
Yeah.
It's people that, they'd have an iPhone 15X or whatever the fucking Pro, is what it's called. Your Apple Vision, your Apple Mac, your Apple TV. That's a car. Yeah. That's the price of a car for and that kind of.
Well, the Apple Vision's like $4,000.
I didn't think it was that much.
Yeah.
Unreal. Should we see how much it is right now?
Yeah.
Should we see if they've been released and people have gone, fuck that price, and they've had to drop it?
I watched a review from The Verge, and it's the best review I've seen of it, and they're very favourable of a lot of the stuff that it does well, but it's front heavy, so it's just dragging your head down, and he goes, it's cool, but the Quest 3 does a lot of the things that it does better, and that's like £600, not.
Yeah, but no one who's brand loyal will want to hear.
No, they're not. And again, this is what I mean. I saw a video earlier, and it was just like, this guy thinks he's fucking Tony Stark, and he's in the Tesla. What was the Cybertruck? That's what it's called, wasn't it? Tesla.
Yeah,
Cybertruck.
the big block thing.
He gets out of that wearing the headset, and then he's already like typing away, swiping windows and stuff. He's just walking to the office building. It's just like, you're such a dickhead.
Callum, you laugh. In 10 years, we'll all be doing it. Guarantee it.
Don't get me wrong. I saw a...
Callum, it's not for sale in the UK, I don't think.
Is it not out here yet?
I can't be, because I'm looking, and there's nothing on the UK website that... Like, it would be a front page event, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, £3,000, sorry, not...
I mean, either way, that's not... Now I'm not like, oh, phew, cool, I'll go and get it.
I'll never get one, but there's a lot of cool things. Like, I watched a video of a guy, it was an Apple Vision headset, it was a Quest 3, and he's got YouTube windows up on it showing him how to fix his car, and he's fixing his car while he's...
Yeah, I sent it to you.
It was, yeah, I thought it was you. And, yeah. And that stuff, I think that's very cool, and it goes back to like the what was the Microsoft HoloLens?
Yeah, the holo table.
Yeah, and
that
like
was the dream.
All that's really fucking cool. But again, you'll see, and the guy in the Verge thingy, the Verge are very favourable of iPhones and Macs and stuff. But the guy who's doing the review, I forgot his name, but it's a really good review, and I liked it enough that I went on the Verge's YouTube channel to see what other reviews he's done, and he's only done like 4. I'm like, get rid of these other fucking clouds. This guy's real fucking good. But he's just like, if you love Apple and you're in the Apple ecosystem, then it's for you. But the reason it is going to be successful is because of those people. Yeah. It's not necessarily better than this headset. It's not better than this headset, but it's an Apple one. Like it's got an external battery. It's got an Apple branded power bank. That's what powers it. And you have to either tuck it into the back of the headset or like put it in your pocket with the cable going down your back. But Apple,
I don't think any of the others do that.
None of them do.
Built into the headset.
Yeah, mine's just built into the headset.
Yeah, like it's where the distribution of the weight is going to be. You want it to be.
But the Apple one, it's just got the head restraint bit, like the elastic bit, and then all of the weight's here. And I forgot how heavy it is, but it's heavier than the Quest 3.
Right. Okay.
So he said it's not comfortable for using, and the way the lenses work, even though the quality is very good, it bows at the end too much. So whilst on the demos, it's like you can you're on the moon and it's a whole world all around you. It's like, yeah, you're on the moon that way, but I can see the wind of this side. So it's like, it's very good, but it's another Apple thing where this is the future because Apple's done it. Nah, they're still massively behind everyone else who's already doing it.
Add an extra 0 on the end of it, and all of a sudden people are like, well, it's got to be the best one, hasn't it?
Well, the fact that this is more than the Vive, whatever the newest Vive. We were looking at them
3,
the other week.
It's the one that I used when I went to that VR
Yeah.
warehouse. Like, it was there. Like, that is... I don't know. Again, I don't think they've been released at that point, but I don't think there was any... I might have looked. But I don't remember there being like a side-to-side comparison with the PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah.
But it'd be comparable, or there'd be, you know, one thing would be better in one thing, and then the other thing would be better in... Like, I reckon it'd be like equal level, if not a bit more better in some aspects and not in others, I imagine. But I've never played anything that was that immersive before. Like, there was just a complete and utter, this is a whole thing that you are in.
Yeah.
Like, it was... I mean, obviously, as well, this was made for a warehouse situation where there is space to move around in, and they've mapped out the space.
Yeah.
So it's all very tailored to the space that you're moving around in. But even with that sort of like handicap that I'd give it, to say, you know, maybe they've just... It's all designed to work within this sort of environment and this setup. It still looked like you just forgot that you were just... Like, your other friend who's on the other side of the map over there is 3 feet away from you. Like, there's nothing else apart from what you're going through.
That's the best bit of VR, though.
So good.
Like,
absolutely it is, yeah.
And that's where credit's due. Apple have been very vocal in going, it's not VR, it's AR. And whilst I agree that's...
AR's not a new thing, though. You can't innovate AR at this point.
I would like to point out, you might be able to tell me, but there was a game for the PSP that was basically Pokemon, and Brian Blessed was the Professor Oak of the game. And it came, with the bundle that I got, it came with the camera for the PSP, and you'd put it in, so you could catch them around your house and stuff. That's AR. Right?
Yeah. Pokemon Go is AR.
Pokemon Go, anything like that. And
Google Cardboard is AR.
Yeah, technically.
Well, it's AR, VR.
Yeah, it does both. And again, so does the Quest, so does the Vive. The PSVR 2, I don't think the PSVR 1 has got cameras to give you the
look out.
But
yeah.
But yeah, they all do it. But Apple are they're solely focused on that. There's probably games you can play on it, but you won't be able to play Half-Life Alyx. No. So if I'm spending close to $4,000 on a headset, I'm playing Half-Life Alyx. You could get fucked.
Yeah.
But again, it begs the question where you will go to an Apple loyalist, and if you love iPhones and you love Macs, then that's fine. Not everybody likes to play like the best games. But if that's what you do, that's fine. But why would you drop nearly $4,000 on a headset when you could get a Quest 3 or you could get a Vive?
Because the people who would actually sit there and do research and figure out what is going to be the best, they would have done that years ago if that's the case, and they wouldn't be investing in that kind of thing unless there is a part of their life, whether it's work or whether it's home or whatever it is, that specifically needs the benefits of having that level of tech and that, or you know, when you have a Mac and you go, well, if I got a Mac, I might as well get an iPod because it'll all link up, and then this and this and this, and it kind of just, you know, culminates around that brand, and then you do kind of just get sucked in, you know. You do, and it's if you're not willing to kind of break the cycle and go, well, I'm looking to upgrade my phone. What else is good out there? If you go to any store, or again, I worked in phones, fucking forever ago. So I don't know as to how much of that is still very much the same, but the iPhone tariffs were usually the most expensive ones that they had. But there was also, you know, there was obviously good incentive on it because you could make the most for upgrading some, or getting them to buy the new iPhone or whatever. So I can't imagine. I don't know, so that might not be the right thing for me to do. But if you were to go into a Vodafone shop or an EE shop or whatever, and say, I've got the iPhone 14 and I'm looking to upgrade, they're not going to go, here's the brand new range of Google phones, here's all the Huawei's, here's all the Samsungs. They're going to go, cool, the 15's out now, do you want that one? And they go, sure, that's a higher number, it's got to be the better one, right? And like, there are, again, I won't knock the things that it can do well. The camera's incredible. The UI's always been amazing. And like the screen is really, really good.
It's also made by Samsung.
Well, yeah, but that's irrelevant. But if they were more innovative in terms of what they do, other than just kind of the same thing that pretty much everyone else is doing at the moment anyway.
It's just aping, whether it's aping the previous phone they did or aping something that someone else has already done. And
but it's the
another word for it.
It's the disparity in the price that I just can't get past. It's the fact that it's kind of the same thing that everyone else. Again, there's certain things that they do better. There's certain things that they don't do as well. But the price is infinitely more than everyone else. And that I just don't understand. Because people don't go, what's the cheapest one? They go, that one's the most expensive, so that's the one I must
be
need.
The best. Yeah.
But it's completely a trend thing. Like, it's advertised, like the Apple marketing for the last 20 years has been amazing. Incredible.
Yeah. Like,
they've absolutely nailed it, because people will go, oh shit, well, I've got to go to school, but I can't not have an iPhone. Like, I need to be, have the cool new tech or whatever. Like, anyone who went into fucking school in America wearing one of those would be paraded around. They'd be on top of people's shoulders. Like, they'd be like, "Oh my god, you're the new cool guy. We all have to talk to you." Yeah.
Logan,
that's not going to be. He comes busting into classroom and he's like, "Boom, Apple Vision or whatever the fuck it's called," and they go, "Oh god, that's so overpriced and absolutely, it's not even worth it compared to all the other things." They're going to be like, "Oh my god, that's the coolest thing. Gonna have a go, please."
He's the coolest kid at school. Logan did right when for his birthday when Logan had his first phone. And I opened it up and he was just like, "Is that an iPhone?" I went, "No, because I'm not stupid."
I've got this presentation that I pre-planned of why you'll never be bought an iPhone.
I always used to kick off at my sister because when my nephew was younger, he got into saying iPad because that's what our other
tablet is.
Yeah, so a tablet was an iPad. Every time you say, "Okay, it's not an iPad, it's a Samsung, it's a tablet."
Yeah.
But even now. No, I'll just go see my iPad. No, because you haven't got one. You fucking idiot. But I'll be I had an iPhone 4, and I still stand. At the time, iPhone 4 was the best phone you could buy, 100% hands down. Then the Note 2 came out, and I was like, "Nah, get the fuck out of here, iPhone." But
this one's got a pen on it.
But the thing is, like, I think the Note 2 was better. However, what sealed the deal was. My Apple account just deleted all my pictures. No reason. And the backups were all fucking corrupted. And I lost all my pictures. And there was a lot of, not like private pictures, but pictures of people I can never get back because they're no longer here.
All those penises that you'll never get to see again.
Oh no! Luckily, I had a Polaroid for that. But and I was just
did you happen to take a TikTok and then put it on the internet for everyone to see?
What?
Just like Drake just did.
Oh, I saw a thing on that. Did you see what he'd? I don't know if he tweeted it or what, but it's. I wasn't hiding my meat from the world.
You fucking absolutely wasn't.
I was hiding the world from my meat or something like that.
To be fair play.
I haven't seen it, so I can't possibly comment. But it's your wallpaper.
not the main one, no. But this feature wall behind the camera, it's blown up to even bigger than it is.
No, I didn't do that. Fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it. But I'll still stand by. If the next iPhone comes out is genuinely fantastic, I would consider getting one.
Yeah, if that one came with and it was like you open it up and it's a hologram.
Yeah,
I'd be like, shit, that's innovation.
Do something actually cool.
$4,000 for it, no, but if you again, because there's such a sort of slim margin of difference between any kind of phones at this point. They're all kind of working to very similar things. It's innovation that I'm looking for, which is why I went for the Fold, because I was like, folding phones is not a new thing, certainly, but it's kind of to a point now where it's worth looking into. It's worth investing in, and I haven't regretted it at all.
That's a great phone.
I really, really love it. And the only annoying thing is that obviously there's now a Fold 5 that's out or due to be out. And I'm just like, God damn it.
But again, Google have done there's a Pixel. I don't know what it's called, but there's a Pixel Fold. The new Oppo Fold is fucking phenomenal. And And then obviously we're going to get the new Samsung. And give it a couple of years, Apple will do a folding iPhone or a folding iPad.
And everyone will be like, oh my God, innovative geniuses.
But the thing, this is what happened. This is what really annoys me. Because you'll have it for years, especially with Android stuff, and it'll go, it's Apple wireless charging. No, it's just wireless charging that phones have had for fucking years.
And the thing is that you could get your Oppo or your fucking Google Pixel or whatever in your wireless charger that you got, and I could pop my phone on it, and guess what? It works. Guess what? It works immediately.
That's what I love with when I got my S22 Ultra, and it's got reverse charging, so you can hold another phone to the back of it and it'll charge that phone. So if you're in a pinch, and the only reason I ever thought that was good was I can charge my earbuds if they died and I hadn't got a cable, I could put it on the back because it's got the same one, or my watch. Now I've got a different watch now and this one doesn't do it, so that's out the window.
Right.
And for the most part, because I remember seeing a thing about it, not for my phone, for another phone that did it, and they're like, if you were out and your phone's dead and you need to make a call, you can you can use it to charge that person's phone. Just give them your phone to make the call. if someone's phone's dead,
no. In this day and age, though, no one knows a number.
I don't know my number.
Exactly.
But
like I'd have to charge you. You'd have to charge your phone in order to access it to then use the other person's phone to call them. Because that's how you turn it on.
Or as you're not going to go to a random person and go, have you got reverse charging on your phone? It's going to be someone you know. So you'd go on their phone and go on Facebook and find the person that they wanted to speak to. Oh,
you just go through someone else's Facebook, yeah.
No, that's it. So if I don't know Zoe's number and I need to ring Zoe, my phone's dead, I'm not going to go, Dan, will you charge my phone off your phone? I'll just go, Dan, go on Facebook and ring Zoe.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Because it's not like it's fast charge. You're going to be there for like an hour to get like 10%. So pointless. But I suppose it's nice to have. But in a few years' time, you'll have that with iPhones, and they'll call it, I don't know, Apple Charge, and they'll go, "This is revolutionary." No, it's not. just make a good phone. You already do make good phones. Price them down a bit to where they should be.
Way more accessible.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I could just be like, yeah, you're now on par with everyone else in terms of pricing and capability.
Yeah.
And you need to just focus on whatever it is that you want to sell your thing on. Is it the camera's incredible? Is it the picture taking software is incredible? Is it the unity between every app that is on the Apple Store? Or there's absolutely no delay with like downloads and uploads and upgrades and all that kind of stuff. It just does it all instantly and you don't even realize. Then that would be great.
Yeah. Sell to your strengths. Because that's the one thing I'll
but their strength is the brand.
Yeah. Which is weird, because if you go back X amount of years, when it was Windows versus Macs.
Oh, yeah.
There was no brand there. They had to sign proper agreements to get schools to take Macs instead of PCs. And now they do Chromebooks because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
But
there would be one Mac, which would be in the design lab or whatever.
We had one in most of the computer rooms, to be fair.
Oh, but when I was in school, I don't think Macs existed.
I hated them. Do you remember the coloured ones? They look like a TV. Ones. Yeah, we had them.
Yeah. No, we just had normal PCs. Our school was not there was. I know that there was high schools that had interactive whiteboards and stuff like that, and I was like, motherfucker, I remember blackboards, genuine chalk on blackboards kind of blackboards. My school, when I was at high school, we was one of the first schools in in the county to have a whiteboard, but it was only because the teacher was allergic to chalk. Of course they were.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, I want one of them whiteboards. And I bet that would have been about £600 for a whiteboard.
Yeah, it'd have been real expensive now.
You could buy a tin of paint.
Yeah.
And you could just plop it on the wall.
Paint your wall. Jobs are good.
Exactly.
But I say Apple's marketing team I don't think they get paid
I
enough.
can't. No, they've 100% done what a marketing department is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they've made that brand synonymous with technology and the future, even though that's not necessarily the case.
But I suppose when you look at it, though, it is a kind of a smart way of doing it. So you let Samsung, you let Google, Sony, because that's another annoying thing that really gets me with anyone who's they love a good screen on their phone and they love a good camera on their phone, if they were that serious about it, they would buy a Sony. Because the screen and cameras are the best on all mobile. That's like Samsung, Apple, Google, all of them. But the phones are shit. But the Sony are in a weird place because they'll do, I can't remember what it is, because they do different, so it's like Sony Mark 1 V7 or something ridiculous. The naming convention's awful. But if you like, it's got the same lens as this camera. Right?
I mean, they do, like, so they're actual cameras and like digital cameras and things like that. I think we follow a Sony account on Instagram, like a photography account. Fuck my life. Like these are just, as far as I'm aware anyway, these aren't professional photographers. These are just people that have just got one of these cameras. I mean, it's free marketing for them because they can go, look how good this camera is. But the quality of them is just unreal.
So Sony lenses are fantastic. And all of the new, I think over the last 2 years, all Sony phones use the A series lens, which are these cameras here. This isn't £1,000 camera, right? And they've just taken the image and put it inside of a very good phone that's got a 4K screen. You don't need a 4K screen on a phone.
But you can market it as such.
No, but again,
because people go, "Oh, 4K, that's the new thing, isn't it?"
Exactly. So it's all good, and the sound quality is good. The screen itself's great. The camera's fucking brilliant, but it's also like $2,000. So, and you're not in a
buy the camera.
But this is what I mean.
Just buy the camera.
Just buy the camera and buy a phone. And you'll have change. But Sony aren't in the same position as Apple where they can get away with that. And that's again, they need to bring it down. But like Apple users will go, we've got the best cameras. It's made by Sony. We've got the best screen. It's made by Samsung. So what you're saying is we've got the best chipset, not phone.
Yeah.
And I would still disagree. But
but if you were to go to an Apple store, like your Apple salesman, they're not going to go through that.
No, obviously not. No, they never will. And a lot of the time, this only comes out because of websites like iFixit and stuff.
It's like cars. It's like when someone goes, "Oh, it's this new Mercedes, SL whatever." This is completely wrong, by the way, but I just want car people go, actually. But when you open it up and it's like there's a Honda engine in it, and it's just like, because that's all you need in order to get it. But we've slapped it all up in a nice Mercedes package and put a bow on it, and people go, "Oh, cool, yeah, I'll pay £80,000 more." For the same engine in the same thing, but it will go, it's just designed a lot better and it'll, it runs a lot smoother. But all the pieces that make it up, they're from a car that costs half the price, if that.
Well, there was a thing, this is going back a long time, but the Lotus Elise, again, I'm going to say numbers that are most likely wrong, but this is just for the story. So a Lotus Elise was 60 grand, say. But the Vauxhall VX2220 was like 18 to 20 grand. It's the exact same car. It's the same shell, it's the same chassis, it's the same engine, it's the same everything, just the badge is different. It's made in the same factory by the same people. And there was a massive uproar about it. Because whereas, yeah. Because I only know this because of Metropolis Street Racer. But I used to take great pride because there was a guy who lived like a few streets over from where my granddad lived. He had a Lotus Elise. And every time we saw him, because he was a dickhead, every time we saw him, we'd go, "Hey, you got a Vauxhall VX20?" He'd go, "No, I haven't. It's a Lotus Elise." But the
Look
difference...
at my debt. It's definitely a Lotus.
I lost
I
my
can't
wife,
afford the
I
rent
lost
this
everything.
month.
And I can't live in this, it's too small. Well, because there's a big thing with so Peugeot 106, Citroen C1, and something else. Again, it's the same things made in the same but they're all around about the same price. But they're also not cars where you go, "Oh, you know what car I'd love a Peugeot 106."
No, you're stuck with you're stuck with a Peugeot. Usually a second-hand 106.
I saw a guy getting out of a Peugeot 106 yesterday, and he's probably...
Christ, it's still around.
Yeah. But he's like as tall as you, And I saw him get out, and the first thing I thought of was The Simpsons. He was like, "You're making fun of the size of my automobile."
That massive dude just chases Nelson. Yeah.
I was like, that's hilarious. Anyway, we have slated Apple and Lotus Elise for long.
No, again, I've got nothing against anyone who, if you're brand loyal and you love it and you can't wait to get yourself an Apple Vision or whatever it's called, then absolutely fill your boots. You absolutely go for it. You're just wrong. Anyway. No,
I honestly thought I was going to end on a sincere thing.
No, it's fine. Because people aren't Samsung loyal. You don't see people walking around in Samsung t-shirts unless they work at the Samsung shop.
I mean, the thing with Samsung loyalty.
No. We've gone through it enough.
This is actually a good point. It's typically
accidental.
It's accidental.
Sorry, excuse me, everyone. I'm just going to make a great point. Hold on, everyone.
Yeah. Next, everything else is bullshit. But but Apple loyalty is they've gone out, they've bought this, and then they bought this, and then they bought this, and they bought this. Samsung is I got the S22 Ultra when it came out. I did research. That's the phone I wanted, and it came. What I got free with it was the Galaxy Pro 2 earbuds. So I have Galaxy earbuds to go with my Galaxy phone. At the time, I also had a Galaxy Watch that I got with a different phone. It wasn't even a Samsung phone that I got that with. It's just I got it with my contract. But then I swapped out for a Fitbit. But typically, you'll have that. That's what's happened. They've got a Samsung phone, Samsung earbuds, Samsung Watch, maybe a Samsung tablet, but they haven't gone out of the way to buy them. It's just happened.
I'd say that's poor research then on their part.
Potentially.
I've got a Samsung phone. I've got Sony earbuds.
Again, yeah.
But it's because I was looking at it wasn't like whatever they gave me with it. It was not good enough. So I went out and I bought some earbuds that were, again, they were based on sound quality. It wasn't based on because the brand matched my jeans or whatever. Like it was, I didn't want to go for like the latest model of it because it was like 300 quid.
Yeah.
But the one before that is still the best of its generation when it came out. So that was 140 quid or whatever it was. And I was just like, that's far more reasonable considering these are things that are pretty much going to get used every day. And I haven't looked back on them.
But they were also made by a company that specialised in audio equipment for the majority of their life. And again, doing research. Like I wouldn't. But I really like these Samsung earbuds. And the sound quality is really good. They charge really fast. They're dead comfortable. But they were also like 250 quid. I'd never fucking buy them, but I got them for free, so it didn't matter. But
and like these earphones, like these headphones. Sorry, they're not the best by a long shot. But what I was looking for at the time was something that was like because the Steel Series ones that I had, I got for a great price because they were refurbed, so they were like way cheaper than they usually were.
Yeah.
And I did look into it. The Steel Series do some solid things. It's not just like it's Turtle Bay because they just got a great marketing campaign. It's targeted for gamers, even though they're not great. But when it came to these, when I was doing that same kind of research, and I was looking at, okay, well, I play my guitar through the PC a lot, so I want really good sound quality. I watch a lot of movies. I don't really listen to music, so I don't really listen to Spotify or whatever. But when I was writing up CVs and stuff like that, when I was looking for, absolutely that was on, and these are fine, but no, they're not the best. But they were also like 40 quid or whatever it was.
Yeah, they're not breaking the bank in terms of.
No, but I was also getting it because I was just like I was, my job was good and it was paying okay, but we were at war, but the world's kind of falling apart and everything was getting more expensive, and I was like, I don't really know if I can justify it. Plus, I'd probably that might have been when I'd spent about 500 quid on a new graphics card as well. So I didn't really just want to push it too far, and I spent about 300 quid on a new suit. So like, there's a lot of just sort of like
spending money,
just more than I should have done probably. And that's probably the one thing that I just thought, fuck me, that's the one thing I should have put some real money into.
I don't know, but they don't have to cost a lot. Like I've got some Sennheiser, I can't remember the model number of them, and they're sound quality is fucking great, but they were only like 70 quid. They wasn't expensive, but because of the brand associated to it, you just go, oh, they're fantastic headphones. Nah, they're not that good, to be honest. They sound very good, but they're open back, so they're not great for editing. They're good for listening to music.
You can still hear people talking.
Yeah.
But I do need to have a look into it at some point now that things are kind of back on track, a lot more so back on track. Because it would be when these don't work anymore.
Exactly.
Then that's when I'll. No, but when I do because when I got the Steel Series ones, the like playing on like Rocksmith and stuff like that, and like needing to have like the separation in audio tracks and like being able to increase one and decrease the other, and there was like a volume control on it. None of that is an option on this. It plays fine, but the audio quality, I could already tell the first day that I got it, I was like, oh, these definitely aren't as good.
Yeah.
They're good. Like, I can hear you perfectly fine, obviously, but for what I was used to, I could tell immediately, like, oh, okay, then that's where the money's going. Yeah. Like, it's going into actually really putting some effort into getting good clarity.
You can equally do the same thing with, you buy, I'm not knocking them, but just say Apple headphones. They make some over-ear headphones. They go, yeah, they got these Apple, I don't know, Apple Beats. And they might sound okay, but they won't be £500 okay, which is what they'd cost.
I also wouldn't be able to plug it into my PC either.
Yeah, there's only Mac only. No, you probably would. But
no. Do they use USBs for anything?
Well, I mean, the phones are USB-C now, aren't they? And
now
I think most of them, all Macs have got USB. They push Thunderbolt.
No, the headphones, more. So the things that connect into things.
Oh, I mean, you get most USB headphones are ones that have got lights on. Because it needs the USB to power the lights. Power, yeah. But for the most part, it'd just be an audio jack, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
Or they'd be wireless and Bluetooth or whatever.
Yeah, well, the other ones that I had, they had a headphone and microphone.
Yeah.
So they needed both ports to be used. Anyway.
Got other stuff done.
Fuck all that off.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place, day 1. Going back, Dan, we've got a big, fat prequel movie coming out.
Yeah.
In a few months' time, June 28th.
Yeah.
That kind of snuck up out of nowhere. Do we know? Obviously, we've watched the trailer. We've watched the trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about this film? Because I didn't even know it was a thing until the trailer.
As in what? As in it was coming out?
Yeah.
Only probably when we went through the list of films that are coming out in 2024.
See. This is I couldn't remember if I'd made this up.
I'm sure it was mentioned in that, but no, I had no knowledge about it, about what it was going to be about.
Do you think we'll see Krasinski?
I'm not excited for this one, if I'm honest.
Really? It looks a lot more.
It looks like Cloverfield.
Typical horror. That's all.
No, it doesn't look like a horror film. It doesn't feel like a horror film. It feels like a big action monster, like a monster movie. It feels like Cloverfield. It feels like there's like things zipping around and killing everybody. And what I loved so much about The Quiet Place is that it wasn't, a huge city that's being torn apart. It's one family. You don't need to see what happened in order to understand how they've gotten there. And the terror of it is just, it's alien.
Yeah.
You just do the wrong thing at the wrong time and it will come out and there's nothing you can do about it. And, they had to outthink it and they had all these little tricks to kind of outthink it. It was so well thought through. Whereas this is just like, this is like 500,000 of them and they're just going to go around and kill everybody. Yeah. But then eventually people will figure out that, they're attracted to noise, and then it kind of, like, I imagine that we'll probably get Krasinski and Emily Blunt in it, even if it's just like as a flashback kind of thing.
Probably
but it seems to be
the same as the trailer's done, where it shows you what we already know, and then it's just but then day 1.
Yeah, but Cillian Murphy's in it, I think.
Nah, that was from the second one.
What, when he's running through the... I don't remember him being in that.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's been a while since I've seen it.
He's like the uncle, isn't he?
Honestly, mate, I can't remember. But that was the only sort of thing I was like, oh no way, he's in it. But clearly he didn't have a lasting impact from 2 because I can't remember that.
I mean, he was like one of the main characters in the second one.
Oh, is he? Because don't they sort of like meet up with them or something like that after? Yeah, no, that does sound familiar now. Actually, yeah.
But I had a look on IMDb, Dan.
Okay.
And this one is an upcoming American post-apocalyptic horror film written and directed by Michael Sarnowski, based on an original story by John Krasinski and Sarnowski. So
that's why it doesn't feel.
I
that's
don't
why it
think
doesn't feel
Mr.
right.
Krasinski is involved in this.
No, maybe he'll pop in and like you say, he'll do a flashback thing or something like that, maybe, or you'll see him like in a business suit before he has to run off and find Emily Blunt.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've got no issue with them sort of like going back and having a look at the day one. But again, I'd prefer it in that kind of like War of the Worlds, like Tom Cruise thing, where it's just him and his 2 kids, and it's just like the city's being decimated and there's thousands of people being slaughtered around them, but it's just purely focused on them rather than the action and the destruction. Like a lot of it you don't even see.
It could just be the beginning though. It might only be like.
But that
10, 15
if that's
minutes.
the case, and it's like you say, it's like 10, 15 minutes, and like it looked great though, like when there's things like explosions, like shockwaves and stuff like that, like all of that looked really, really good. And if it's focusing on different people and their particular stories and how they ended up like meeting Krasinski in the future or whatever, sure. But I'm just not as excited for it as I was when 2 came out.
I'll be honest, I wasn't excited for the second one.
Well, you're not, no.
No.
What, because it was a sequel and you knew what happened in the first one?
I was happy to leave the first one as it was. Like, the first one's perfect. It's a fantastic film. It didn't need
I
a
could have
sequel.
left that as it is.
Yeah.
No, I'd agree with that, yeah.
And the second film's it's not a bad film, but just on terms of scale, I would say the first one is a 10 out of 10, and the second one is at most 7, at most. And that's being generous. I'd probably say 6.5, personally.
Well, I've seen 1 a couple of times, but I've only seen 2 once.
And you forgot who was in it.
And I forgot what happens in it. So, that's not a great endorsement of it, maybe. But that's not to say that I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I don't remember not liking it. But this one, I'm just sort of like, I can go in with low expectations on this.
Yeah.
And if it just turns out to be great in the middle of it, then fucking amazing. Well done.
I mean, they seem...
But I'm not doing little dances for it.
It does show you, at least it implies, that they figure out they've got to be quiet. And you've got I can't remember the gentleman's name, but from Guardians.
Jimon Honsu, I think his name is.
You got him.
Great get as well.
Yeah, he's a very good actor. You got him and the woman who had the cat at the beginning, or a dog. Some creature.
Is she deaf?
I've got a feeling she might be.
Because there was something about it that just... I don't know. That might just be me reading it wrong. I thought that's what they were doing.
Yeah, that's what it seemed.
Yeah.
But saying that's what they did with the first 2.
Yeah.
The daughter's deaf, isn't she?
No, I thought it was the kid. The son. Because that's why he sets that fucking rocket off and gets killed.
No, it's the daughter because he makes because they figure out, spoiler, the frequency from her hearing aid affects them.
Yeah. But then that kid's a fucking idiot.
He is.
He set off that rocket going pew 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 pew, and then he got killed a bit. Well, yeah, it's same bloody fault. Then
that's just because he's a kid. Just wanted to
play
with
but
his
you're
toy.
also. When Logan was 6 years old, if you said, if you make any noise, a massive monster will kill you, there is one to prove it. You better believe he wouldn't make any noise.
Yeah, but that's not a movie. If nothing happened to him and everything was fine, it's not a very good film, is it?
Yeah, I guess. But then you could do Starship Troopers and you just have the army show up and just blow them all away.
I say I'm fine with day one. No one knows what the fuck's going on. There's screaming, cars are crashing, planes are fucking falling out of the sky. If that's like the first 20 minutes to half an hour tops, I'm fine. And then once they realise, or it fast forwards to like day 15 something, and it focuses again on these 2 people that we've seen in the trailer, maybe 1 or 2 other people, and it's just back to what we know and love about A Quiet Place. I'm fine with that, and I think it would. I think it's got potential. Visually, like you just said, it looks fantastic visually.
Yeah, I can't knock it. If it's just a big romping monster movie, then again, I don't doubt that it won't look great. But again, like the thing that makes the xenomorph so scary is because you only get to see it every now and then, scuttling around in the dark. And the things that make the Terminator scary is, he's unstoppable. He cannot sleep. He can't get killed. Like it's this unstoppable death machine.
Yeah.
But then when there's like 5,000 of them, it's like, well, you're lessening the effect a little bit. When there's a nest, I love Starship Troopers. It's such a stupid, silly film.
But it knows what it is.
I love it. But at the start of that movie, there's this huge like invasion thing. It's like this D-Day alien thing, and there's this brand new team of rookies, this squad of rookies that have just come out of base camp, out of their training camp.
Yeah,
and they get there's like huge, there's thousands of them, and then one of them just sort of comes scuttling up to them, and they're like, "Oh shit, we've got to deal with it." And it takes like 7 of them to take this thing out, and then by the end, you've got Denise Richards, Casper Van Dien, and the fella that's been banging his ex-girlfriend. There's 3 of them. One of like Denise Richards has had like her leg like ripped through, and like they're just killing like dozens of them in one go, and it's just like, what happened? Like you can't be any better at shooting at them than you were before. It's the same with this. It's like
growth.
But I don't really want an explanation of just like, oh, it's an alien invasion force, and they drop all the things in that kill everyone, and then they can come in and nickel the resources. Yeah. I like that they travel and they'd meet one camp and they'd say, oh, that's what happened, or then they'd meet another camp. It's like, no, this is a government experiment. It's all going fucking tits up or whatever. Like it's the mystery of what's happening. Why are they there? Like, oh my god, they're actually humans after all.
Yeah.
Like, or they don't exist. It's all psychological. Like. The mystery of it is kind of what makes it scary and cool at the same time.
But it's because you don't know what they are.
Exactly,
that adds to it.
We've already seen in the trailer. Okay, well they're definitely aliens.
Yeah, because
they all come flying in from the sky. So unless those just happen to be like it's just a very well filmed trailer, and it's like that's just satellites and stuff coming out of the sky, which is unlikely.
No.
But yeah, it's like, okay, well, they're aliens, but then that means that either that's an alien invasion force, and that's just what they do when they turn up on a planet, or they are specifically designed, and an alien force will just drop 1 million of them on a planet, and anyone that makes any noise, they'll get killed, and then they can just swan in afterwards and take the planet. But I don't want to know that. It's a horror film. If it's like a science fiction film, and then you go, sure, what's going on? Why are they here? How are we going to stop them? You need an answer to it. This is just they're an unstoppable, unkillable monster, or theoretically. And then when you're backed into a corner, then you've got to improvise. You do the scream, and then you shotgun it like right in the side of its neck, and that kills it. And then you go, "Fuck me, they can be killed." That's incredible. There's just something so much more personal and intimate and scary because of like, fuck me, when she's giving birth in that bathtub and that thing is coming up the stairs. It's just like, there is no way that you can get out of this, like, without, like, it's so tense.
Well, this one, I don't need to see. The first one is excellent.
I don't need to see 1,000 of them tearing up a city. I know that they're capable of doing that, and as soon as someone makes any noise, then, like, if they'd have done this the other way round, and this was the first one, and then it was following them, and then it just then it goes from a monster movie to a terrifying psychological, horror movie. Then that would be incredible progression. I think this is going again. You could be completely right in that it could just be big action stuff, and then it's just
I hope so.
Being stalked through a subway in the dark, like a horrifying Resident Evil game, like that sort of thing. I'd be a bit more on board for, even though I don't like scary things anyway. But it just seems it would be a waste of the good work that's already been put in so far to make the other two. That's
the best example of it, though. Like, you're not a massive horror fan, like video games and movies and stuff, but there's certain ones that you like, and Quiet Place is one of them. But if this turns into just generic monster scary film, then it's lost that little bit of something that made it very special. And the burst scene's a great example of that with the first one, and there's none of that really in the second one, other than when they're in the vault. It's not a vault, like the safe thing. I
don't remember that.
I can't remember the exact thing, but he basically says you have to do something, and they don't, and then the monster comes in, and I can't remember what actually happens, but
sure.
That's probably the closest scene you get to it. And on its own, the second one's it's a really good film, but compared to the first one, it's shit. And it's a shame because that in itself taints the first one. Because again, do the first one, don't no more after that. Fucking iconic. Now it's got 2 shit sequels. And it's like it might not be though, might not be. And I say it like I really didn't like the second one. I enjoyed it, just wasn't as good. But we'll see. When did I say it's out? June 28th, Dan.
So yeah, 5-6 months.
Also,
4 months.
Because we didn't know it was a thing. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? So close to release.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be running out to go and watch it. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Like again, like Cloverfield is a really good. Its point of difference is okay. Well, it's all found footage.
Yeah.
It's all on a camera. But it's still giant monsters. It's terrifying little things that are running around killing everyone. If it bites you, you fucking explode, and like it's awful. That like how there's a mystery around it, and then there's like Cloverfield Paradox and Cloverfield Lane, which again is kind of putting
real good.
But it's not because of all the fucking aliens running around.
It is. See until the end.
It's exactly like the whole beauty of that film is because you've got
John
Mary. Well, you've got John Goodman, who's just like, there is an alien attack going on out there. I did you both a favour by keeping you locked in here.
Yeah.
You've got to stop asking to go out because you're idiots and you just need to trust me. And then they I can't remember what happens, but they knock him out or kill him or whatever. And then they get out and it's like, oh my God, it was real. They are aliens and they are invading. Like, that's great because it's sold so well that it's just like, maybe he is just a paranoid maniac.
That's the beauty of it, is because the whole film, you're the same thinking as them, that he's lying about the aliens, he's keeping them like against the will, and he's sold to be the bad guy, and he's not. He was telling the truth the whole time. It's just that
he didn't go about it particularly well. Maybe,
no, but that I suppose some of that could be the director could go, well, that's you're looking at him through their eyes and they're misconstruing a lot of what he's actually. It's probably not the case. I think they've just gone, right, be as creepy as fuck.
We need to sell the creep factor on this.
We need
like,
a big
imagine if it was Cloverfield Lane, and then it wasn't aliens.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything to do with the Cloverfield attack in New York. Like, it wasn't anything to do with that at all. It was just, and then it turned out it was set like 5 years before the alien monster dropped in, and it was completely unrelated.
But that would still be a good film, though.
It would still work, because then you'd be like, oh, but I know that I know that there's aliens. Oh, but no way, it's a prequel.
That would have worked.
And then there was the Cloverfield Paradox.
I
which
haven't
is the
seen
Netflix.
that one.
Again, the fact that I don't really remember much from it, other than it was like on a space station, probably doesn't sell it in a good light. But I don't remember going, God, what a waste of a franchise. I just don't remember it being.
You also don't remember watching it.
I know Chris O'Dowd's in it, I think.
Is it?
And I think he just it's like a wibbly wobbly alien that's sort of like zipping around in the ship or whatever, or killing them or something like that.
I know what you're on about now. I've still not seen it, but
I think it is a Netflix original, I think. But yeah, it's like it's something to do with. I don't remember if it's like that's the predecessor for the Cloverfield film. Like, I can't remember that.
If it's in space, I would assume it is.
I can't remember.
How long do you reckon it's going to be until we get like a Freddy versus Jason kind of thing, and you've got the aliens from Cloverfield versus the aliens from A Quiet Place, A Quiet Field?
I think you're more likely to get a Cloverfield monster. It's going to be Cloverfield versus Godzilla versus Kong, and there's going to be a massive battle, and they're just going to have to beat the living shit. I mean, to be fair,
excuse me,
the Muto things that Godzilla kills in the first one, they're basically the Cloverfield, and he didn't really struggle too much with that. So I don't think it would be much of a matchup. Maybe we need to do that. We need to do a monster matchup.
A
and see
monster mash up.
Yeah, without copyright infringements. And we get like, your Cloverfield monster, your Godzilla, your Kong, and we put them all in a big field and see who could win in a fight.
Maybe not a field, but
big field, obviously.
As long
but
as
like like the tripods from War of the Worlds, like this giant thing. It's got lasers, but you knock it over or you get the aliens inside. Well, it's useless now, but it's got a laser that can just disintegrate anything.
Well, the beauty of this is we can do, especially now he's quit YouTube. We can take the reins of game theory, that kind of thing, where you can. That's just a theory, a podcast versus player, no copyright intended theory.
Cancelled.
But you can get like looking at. We wouldn't do as much research as MatPat did, but you can look at certain stuff that Godzilla's done, the monsters from A Quiet Place have done, and you can speculate what they could lift, what they can damage they can take, and that kind of stuff. And it wouldn't be too difficult to get a general idea of how strong something would be against another creature. Yeah. And I reckon that'd work quite well. I think that's something we could actually pull off.
Probably, yeah.
We'll look into that. I'm going to cut this out of the podcast so no one else steals the ideas.
I'm sure there's already 50 other YouTube channels that already done it.
Most likely, but I'll do some Apple marketing on it. That'll be the best one.
Yeah.
But that's all I've got though, mate. Quiet Place.
I was going to ask if there was any other trailers or anything like that maybe we've missed.
Not a trailer as such, but we had a behind the scenes of If, the new John Krasinski, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, again, another great piece of marketing there. But yeah, Krasinski and Reynolds. I know Reynolds is the voice of the monster, I think, isn't he?
No, Reynolds is in it.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot his name. Michael Scott.
Steve Carell. He's the voice of it.
Steve Carell, is, yeah. And then John Krasinski's in it as well as a voice, but I'm not sure who he voices. But he's obviously he's wrote it as well.
Yeah. So they do like a bit of a behind the scenes promo. And Reynolds introduces Krasinski, and then fucking Randall Park.
Who?
I don't think from The Office.
I don't think I've seen this one.
But what a great fucking move! They're so smart. In case people don't there's obviously everyone knows, but Randall Park, he popped in. Like he's in the MCU. He's been in quite a few big things. Like people know who he is. But he, as like one of the cold opens in an episode of The Office, as an Asian man, he went in to the office and took Jim's place, and to confuse Dwight, he was like, "You're not Asian." And he's like, "Oh, you never noticed before? That's so cool." And it was just some random thing that just got me the fuck out of.
But he's got the photoshopped and like Pam's like, "Oh, I've got them dinner reservations." It's such a good scene.
It's so good, and then. I think it was on the sort of the lead up, or it might have been just after Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange thing came out, and it was. I'm sure I saw like a bunch where it was just like, oh, it's so good to see John Krasinski in the Fantastic Four, and it's just him. Yeah. Like when it was, they did the same thing with like they were saying like,
WandaVision.
Yeah, like Mr. Fantastic's going to show up in WandaVision, and then everyone's like, "Oh, it is Jim from The Office, no way!" And it's still Randall Park. Like, what a good! The fact that he's just leaning so hard into it as well is so clever.
But they've done the same for this. That's where we're going with it.
Yes, exactly. So he's introduced as Krasinski, and Reynolds is like, "You're not John Krasinski. He's way less Asian than you are."
So I don't know.
Brilliant.
I don't know what's funnier is if Ryan Reynolds basically playing the part of Dwight, where he seems to be the only one that can see it that you're not John, you're not Jim, you're not John Krasinski. Or would it have been funnier if they had just carried on and they didn't acknowledge it?
Well, I thought they were going to like when he was going to because it seems to like cut to a bunch of other behind.
Yeah,
the scenes
it never cuts back to him after.
No, but I thought that they were just going to be like whatever John Krasinski was doing. They would just like really poorly Photoshop him out and just put Randall Park in there instead. Like I thought that would have just been incredible.
Do you think we'll ever get the opposite one, where it's a Randall Park thing, but John Krasinski's there instead?
Maybe, but what's a role that he's synonymous with though? That's the thing. You'd have to get him as like the absolute lead in some huge project, and then you get Krasinski to come in.
whilst he's a person that is very easily recognisable in a role in shows and stuff that he's been in, I can only ever remember him from the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be something much better suited
he's done loads of things.
I want to give him some due respect here, so let's have a look and see his... let's have a look at his filmography, shall we? So... blah, 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 blah. Oh God, he was in one of the 41-year-old virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it. He's in one of those terrible things back in the day.
Awful.
The Interview is in that.
With Seth Rogen.
Yeah. Office Christmas Pie. Oh yeah, I remember that. It was like a thing. It was a. It was like the Hangover kind of thing, but it was an office Christmas party that sort of gets out of control or something.
He's in an episode of New Girl.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's in The Disaster Artist as well. The Room. Have you not seen that?
The Disaster.
It's like Dave Franco and
the thing on the roof.
James. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched it.
You don't need to watch The Room, but watch The Disaster Artist. That's a really good film. Ant-Man, Aquaman. He's in Aquaman, apparently.
Who's in Aquaman?
Don't know. Stephen Shin. Don't remember. Paw Patrol.
Oh, what?
Shortcomings.
What's the show?
And then
what's the show with Melissa thingy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Santiago.
Oh, Superstore.
Blockbuster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is Blockbuster. Yeah, Blockbuster. Yeah.
He's the lead in that.
He is. It's
not very
good.
Show,
yeah.
It's not very good.
He's in Solar Opposites, Big Mouth.
Who's in Big Mouth?
A bunch of...
Do you recognise him from Big Mouth?
No. Panic at the Mall. Pete Donahue. No idea. Probably just a bit part anyway, so don't worry about it. But yeah, there's not anything even like in his TV thing that's like, oh, of course he was thingy in that show. But maybe when he gets maybe that role that is like, oh, that was made for him, or he was made for that role, then they could switch him out and put Krasinski in there instead. Maybe.
Do you think it's going to get to the point where we're going to have like season 5 of Jack Ryan, but it's going Randall Park?
Have you finished Lower Decks yet?
No. I have. There's a reason for it. I can't tell you on here.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
There is a reason for it.
Okay, well, there's a sort of a person playing the same role kind of thing joke that goes through that as well, which is quite funny.
Right.
But if you haven't seen it, then don't worry about it.
Oh no. What I have started though is Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, the new
Amazon.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. I'm getting too old for this shit.
It probably is at this point, to be fair.
He's a buff boy now.
Yeah, I can't remember the other lady. I haven't watched this, so you know more about it than me.
No, so I won't go too much into it, obviously, because you haven't watched it, but it's all right. It's worth a watch. I briefly mentioned it the other day, but my biggest criticism so far is it's called Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and there's very little Mr. and Mrs. Smith in. It's a show that seems primarily revolving around their relationship rather than the job and the tasks that they've got to do. And whether that's a good or a bad thing, I can't say, because I'm only on episode 5 now out of 8.
Out of 8, yeah.
So I'll finish it like by the end, either the end of the week or the weekend or something like that.
Well, considering I haven't finished season 1 of Reacher yet, and there's still a few other things, like
outrageous.
If there's anything that you're like, oh, it's worth getting to the end of this it does pay off.
Yeah.
Then I can start it, I guess. But like when I'm in work mode, like I can't really watch an episode of Reacher.
Well, this is why I save most of my viewing stuff for the weekend, because I could just watch a load of stuff, not worry about mostly nothing else.
Well, talking about watching stuff at the weekend, as I mentioned on a previous podcast, some friends of mine, they took me to see Jingle All the Way over Christmas at the cinema, which is one of the best experiences of my life.
Went back in time.
Oh, it was so good. this weekend we're going to the cinema at 10 o'clock. Callum, I've got to be up at 10
in the morning.
No, I've got to be there at 10 o'clock in the morning, which on a Saturday after the week I'm going to have is just fucking mental. To watch Turning Red.
Hey, I took Logan to see Migration last weekend.
Oh, is that the new Duck DreamWorks?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's DreamWorks.
No, you'll hate it. It's
I could tell from the trailers that one like
Illumination.
Yeah, I could already tell. It's like it's all like it's all that.
It's better. That was really good to be fair, but it's better. I think it's better than Minions and Despicable Me. But
as far as I'm concerned, that's not particularly.
It's still like. Well, the thing is, he's got into. I'll touch on why I jumped in a sec. I can tell you, the trailers for that they're going. It's Turning Red. Oh God, what were the other two? What's the one about the two brothers? Luca. Turning Red, Luca.
Well, they're not brothers, but I know what you mean.
I thought they was brothers, was they not? They're just friends.
No, they're fucking mermaid. One of them's a mermaid.
They're both mermaid people.
No, they're not.
I thought they both was.
Well,
I'm pretty sure they both
are.
Yeah,
once... Oh, wait, no, sorry, do you mean Onward? They're two brothers.
No, Luca.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm sure they were.
No, they're not brothers, they're both mermaids, though, you are right, yeah.
Yeah, but that, Turning Red, and the Soul, I want to say? The one that went to Disney
Soul,
Plus.
Yeah, it was straight, it was like 2020 or whatever.
They're all going to the cinema.
Did they not originally?
No, because it was COVID-y times.
But I could have sworn that Turning Red was still a cinema release.
Nah, we watched Turning Red on Disney Plus.
I can't wait. I've seen that film.
Yeah, it's
so many times.
Real good. But Logan had got a head teacher's award at school, so well done.
Good for him.
Excellent. Can have a treat. And for Christmas, we got him an air hockey table. Not big one, it's only like a tabletop one.
Yeah.
But we got bored of playing that, and then what do you actually call them? You know the bits that you hold that you hit the disc.
Oh, I don't know if they've got a proper name.
Them anyway.
The disc hitters.
Yeah, we turned them round so the handle was so it's like that, and then spinning them like Beyblades because they spin really well, and then we're going around the rink and going bing.
I thought you were going to say you served ice cream in them.
No.
So it's like a.
Well, he was just like, "Oh, you've invented this really cool game." I was like, "This is a real thing. Like, it's called Beyblade."
Has been for 25 years.
And the rest.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure Beyblades are older than we are, like the actual toy. But anyway, so I went on YouTube and I was like, "It's a real thing. It's like we can get some if you want, because this will be fun and we can collect them and stuff." He was like, "Cool." Got this head teacher's award anyway. I was like, "Good treat if you want. Get these Beyblades if you want." And he was just like, "Can we go to the cinema?" So there's nothing really coming out. He goes, I want to watch Migration. And then I remembered it was the stupid Minions people. I was like, I want some Beyblades. Like, get some Beyblades. And then I even offered. There was one who was like 45 quid for like an arena. And then the thing was like, we'll get this, do this. That was way more than the cinema was.
Yeah.
But he was like, nah. I went, fine. So we went and saw that. Good? Like I say, it's better than Minions and stuff. I don't like Minions. I don't like Despicable Me. I didn't really like this, but I laughed more during this than I did at any of the Minions or Despicable Me movies.
Right.
But again, unlike stuff like Turning Red and Luca and Soul and all of these Disney movies, there's no
Disney Pixar.
Yeah, but like any even some of the DreamWorks stuff with Illumination, there's no moral. It's just, we want to do this. Like the ducks, basically, the dad wants to stay at the pond, and the mom and the kids, they want to leave the pond, and they want to migrate, and they want to go to, where do they want to go?
Do ducks migrate?
Not all ducks do. Certain different ones.
Certain species.
So like mallards and that will stay where they are for the most part, I believe. But it's mostly like geese and shit that migrate. But that's the crux of the film. And the dad tells him like about like herons eating. If you know it, then the herons will eat you. That's where the herons eat ducks.
No, they do migrate. Yeah.
Do they?
Ducks either migrate south or change local movement patterns in response to declining open water and food availability.
Yeah, so they might just move down the road.
Bit more down the road,
like
but yeah,
like a caravan.
But again, that's so then you've got someone who's going, as a duck, we're supposed to migrate because the weather's too cold or the food's running out, and there's someone going, no, we should stay here, no, and you go, but why? The reason that you migrate is not because you're going on your jollies. It's because you do it to survive, because you're an animal. And that all that most animals do is whatever they can to survive. You fucking stupid.
Well, these went to Jamaica, so...
I mean, that's a nice hot country.
Yeah, it is, but it's a lot further than... They're in, like...
Where are they going from?
Doesn't specify. I would assume somewhere in America.
That's like a... Yeah, they'd be like a 10, 12-hour flight in America from America, right?
I mean, I don't know how fast ducks fly, to be honest.
Not faster than planes!
And they do stop quite a few times as well. But there's one thing that I will praise them on. So there's only a handful of humans in it. And they don't speak.
They're just around.
No, but like they interact with them. Like there's a guy who's like a chef who wants to kill the ducks and stuff. But when he makes a noise, it's just like, argh! And I like that because obviously the animals are talking to each other and stuff, but then the humans don't. I was like, yeah, that's good. I like that. I shall allow it, even though they do actually murder him.
Oh well, spoilers.
Yeah,
for this film.
You're never going to watch it.
Not going to watch it.
But I'm not even. They chuck him out of a plane.
Oh, he's dead then.
Yeah. Not chuck him. But it's okay. If you want to waste 90 minutes or have it felt longer than it was, I'll tell you that much.
I'd rather masturbate for 90 minutes.
Fucking hell. Have you been doing that during this?
It sounds like a better... I mean, I'm not draking it. My hands are here. Everyone can see.
Is that going to be your new thing? Oh, God. Someone's just caught me draking it.
Hashtag draking it.
I don't know enough about Drake to make any other jokes. But
I don't, but I've seen his penis. That's all I can say.
You know and have seen more than I know and have seen. So,
well, I know in the sense that he's a meme. I couldn't name a single song that he's done. I don't know what type of music he's done.
That's him,
but I've seen his meme. Yeah,
that's him. Yeah,
and now I've seen his penis. Yes.
Do you think that's going to make it into the meme?
There's already people that are doing parodies and stuff. It's gone fucking bananas. Are you kidding me?
Well, he's got the money to.
A celebrity got their penis out.
They all get their penis out.
Yeah, but not intentionally. Like, Justin Bieber.
Chris Evans did it.
Did he?
On Instagram.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 90 minutes to spend tonight.
At least 60 seconds of that will be Drake and Chris Evans. But yeah, well, it was an accidental thing. But
did he have a witty retort to go with it?
I can't remember what he did, but it was funny that he like what he did in response to his own stupidity.
Right. Okay.
But I suppose that's an easier thing. If it's a bloke, you just make a joke of it. And as you said in Drake's case, it's nothing to be embarrassed about, kind of thing.
No.
But
no,
I suppose if it's a woman that's done it, and it's her penis that's everywhere. but I think it's easier for blokes to laugh it off than it is for females.
Yeah, I suppose, because if someone tries to drag you over the coals, like, how dare you put it, and you go, fuck off.
Yeah, I'll get it out now.
What are you going to do about it? Yeah.
So it's I don't know, but I'm not going to get out of my way to Google it. If it shows up in my feed, then so be it. But
officer,
I'll send you the Chris Evans though. But got that saved. But no, we're going to leave it there because we've talked about penises for exactly 15% more than we usually do.
Yeah, there's not much penis chat that goes on in these podcasts anymore.
No, not anymore. Not since we changed the name.
No. What do you think the first P stood for?
Well, it was originally just called the PP cast. But
no, it was penises, vaginas, and prostates cast.
Why prostates?
Because it begins with P, you idiot.
Porn.
So, Callum, here's what I've been watching this week.
Wouldn't the last P just be podcast? Penis Vagina Podcast.
Maybe.
Otherwise, it'd be the PvPP.
Well, we don't call this the PvP. That's it, do we? It's the PvP podcast.
Yeah, podcast versus player podcast. But when we say it, we just call it the podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to say, but I'm thinking it's PvP podcast.
Well, I reckon we start up a second channel. We have the Penis and Vagina and podcast.
Way ahead of you. I thought Drake's already started for us.
I mean, maybe I need to zoom in on those pictures a bit. Maybe it's just the PvP game logo thing that's just flopping around on the end of it.
There is a thumbnail from one of our old retro shenanigan videos where you've got I forgot what some samurai game we played. I think it's Bushido Blade 2. But
we did play Bushido Blade.
But the thumbnail is you with your willy out.
Is it?
It is.
I don't remember that, no. I've been draped.
It's a lot bigger. I haven't seen Drake's, but I can guarantee it's a lot bigger. I don't know about that, mate. I was very favourable to you.
Yeah, well, let's just say God was very favourable to him as well. He's not only a rapper and a gorgeous man and a millionaire, presumably, but yeah. Hog.
It's like Pumba.
I don't know. It's like one of those floppy inflatable tube arm men that he's just waggling around. It's quite funny. It's not sexy video. It's quite hilarious. But if you take a second to
googly eyes
have a think about it, not quite like that. But you just go, bloody hell, mate! Fair play. Like you've lucked out. I'm surprised you haven't flopped it out earlier. Quite frankly.
Do you think it potentially has he got a new album? Is it not doing very well? And then this is a surefire way to drive some traffic.
Has he really faded into obscurity? Really? Like, surely people still know who he is, and he's a big deal, right?
I mean, people know.
Again, I'm no expert on him.
We're the last people to ask, but purely because of the memes, he'll be around forever, regardless.
Probably, yeah. But I suppose unless you piss on a child or rape somebody, you can't really knock someone down from that star, can you?
No, I mean. The people who follow Drake and are fans of his music and him as a person, they're not going to be overly annoyed that he's got his tudge out because they'll be like, awesome.
like, yeah, finally.
Yeah. Now I can go. I don't need this AI thing anymore.
I don't need to keep on making all these DeviantArt pictures. Now I've got the real thing.
It's not that big of a deal. Like I say, he came out with a witty response to it. He's dealt with it the best way he possibly can. And give it a month or so and everyone will forget because someone else has done something worse.
If he went, I was hacked. Plus it's an AI deepfake anyway, isn't it? And then you just have people like the internet detectives was like, well, actually, we've looked into this and it's absolutely. And then you.
Have you seen that post for helping shoplifters and just criminals in general, not necessarily shoplifters? It's basically you can buy a finger that you put on and it gives you another finger, so you've got 5 fingers and a thumb, and basically any crimes caught on camera they'll be dismissed because it's AI. Because basically AI struggles with hands. So it's clearly not real, it's AI. And I was like, that's pretty smart, but
I don't think that would stand up in court somehow.
Probably not.
Because again, well, we had looked through your Amazon order list, and there's an order here 6 months ago for a fake finger. So we're pretty sure that's you.
I'm pretty sure that's an AI generated Amazon account.
Also, there were 6 people in that shop who all saw you as well.
It just made me laugh. And I was like, that is
quite funny.
It's clever enough to be stupid. Like, no one would fucking do that. And then they would. And you go, why have you done that? That's not clever, you fucking idiot.
You caught and found out immediately. And when we arrested you, you still had it on you, you idiot.
Well, that would be the other thing. Like, you guarantee someone would get caught doing it, but it'd be like, because it doesn't look particularly realistic. Like, I suppose if it was a bad camera, you might get away with it. But again, like you say, they'd show up to court and they'd go, objection, but they still got it off. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Have you got anything else you wanna chuck in before we skadoodle?
No, mate. I want to go and have some dinner.
Excellent.
And I want to go to bed early. That's what I want to do.
Well, you can, before you go, Dan, you can go to www.podcastversusplayer.com, and on there is a brand spanking new game show that we did earlier this week called What Do You Do With It? And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Again, not very memorable because I'd already forgotten about it.
I don't think that's the show's fault. I think that's just you working too hard.
Yes.
But that's up. So you can see that along with reviews and let's plays and other game shows and other podcasts and lots of other things all going along at the bottom of the screen. Dan, see you on the next one.
Yes.
You guys, see you on the next one.
Yes.